Hello and welcome to a trip to Albuquerque via train, via Amtrak. That's right. And today it's going to take us roughly 13 hours to get there. When you arrive at the train station, you'll check in your bag and, of course, get all your belongings together. Wait for the train to arrive. Make sure to have your ticket ready because they will leave you behind if you do not have your ticket ready.
Hello, good morning, sir.
23 or 24 into the next car.
Thank you.
It's at this point you'll make your way to your designated car and put your belongings above your cargo. As you can see, the lights are dimmed because it's 3 o'clock in the morning and people are getting on and off constantly. The cars do shift a little bit, but unless you're going around a curve, it's not really hard to tell and it's pretty stable. And with that, we were off, officially out of the station. Now we are making our way to Albuquerque until morning. Now that the sun has risen, it is much easier to see the surroundings and the beautiful landscape that this trip has to offer. And speaking of landscapes, the next part of our trip is the observation deck. This is a separate car that has more windows and larger windows than the ones that your seats have. Now be sure to get here early because these are a very hot commodity and have tables that you can sit at and play cards and whatnot. This is about the legroom you'll have in your actual seat when you're just traveling through the plains. If you look off in the distance, you can see the Rocky Mountains and all the other train cars ahead of us. We were the next to the last, so not quite the caboose. As we're headed through parts of Colorado, we can see some wild elk. Between stops, there is frequent fresh air stops that you can get out and stretch your legs. The conductor will let you know when to get back in. As we head back in, we make our way to the cafe car. This is a place that you can also sit down and have lunch, or order a pizza, a cheeseburger, or just sit down and have a bite to eat with more beautiful views and a little quieter space. We went through this really cool tunnel for parts of Colorado. You can even see the emergency exits are now glowing in the dark. The train typically goes anywhere from 70 to 80 miles an hour as long as it's not on curves or going through some tough terrain.
There's a mine shaft.
Oh, I see that. That's cool. If you do want to participate in the diner car, which has full meals available, it's $20 for breakfast, $25 for lunch, and $45 per person for dinner. So, with that being said, we have finally arrived to Albuquerque.
Southeast. We finally got our rental car, and now it is time to head to the hotel.
The next day.
It's a Roadrunner.
It's got a rat in its mouth. The breakfast was good. They had little pre-made omelets, but the omelets did not taste right. The waffles, however, were scrumdiddlyumptious, and I had them every day. Now it's time to head down to Old Town and see what there is to check out. It's pretty cool because their Old Town is down Route 66 as well. There's these huge cactus absolutely just everywhere.
These are peonies.
They have a lot of really pretty smelling flowers. There's peonies, some lavender, a bunch of roses. And chili peppers until your heart's desire. They are everywhere. This shop was really cool and had a lot of funky creations, like some bugs that had skulls for abdomens and a ton of blankets. Then we decided to go to the Breaking Bad store because it's just down the street, and it's part of our vacation anyways. They have a ton of things to choose from. They got candles, prints, coffee mugs, stickers, keychains. Heck, they even have a lab that you can tour as like a Walt meth lab, but a tour museum. And just a little further down the street is the official candy lady for the Breaking Bad show. Something else that I noticed about a lot of these shops is these super tiny things. They were everywhere. They were so pokey and brightly colored.
There's so many.
I think we're good so far. Thank you.
Now we are heading to the Rattlesnake Museum, and you get a certificate of bravery once you complete it and stop in. There's a ton of rattlesnakes here, and a lot of them are really cool looking and unique. I highly suggest stopping here.
The snake that we look She sticks home with an aggressive pull.
I also met up with a friend who lives here locally, and this is the way up to her house. Her view from her house is spectacular. Like, what? I decided to do some hiking around the Rio Grande and check out the Rio Grande. It was pretty low, and according to my friend, the lowest she's ever seen it. We actually walked across the entire river. Now that it's time for dinner, I asked one of the local shop owners what the best food in town was, and they said the Church Street Cafe. And boy, their food was amazing and our seat was great. They even gave us sopapillas after our meal. Now it's time to check out the zoo. It's hard to see, but there is a bird in there. A lot of the animals were either in the shade or were sleeping, which is totally understandable because it gets really hot in New Mexico. These are springboks, and I genuinely could not see them and had to take 10 or 15 seconds to see them before they were visible because they blend right in and they are so still.
Oh, look at all those beautiful feathers. Over there. No, stay right there. Romeo, pick up your jacket. Oh, he's doing that thing. He's like cresting or something. Whoa, the wind that comes off of their wings is crazy. Oh, does that one?
Look, they have holders where they can put branches.
That's funny.
After checking out the cheetahs, it was time to go to the rest of the exhibits. There was this cute little lizard that I don't know what kind it was, but it was in one of the random exhibits.
Probably say it's a gator moving close to North America.
We go ahead and head over to the raptor's roost. This is where all the predator birds live.
Oh, you have to find something.
Now it's time to check out the plants that they have to offer. There's an indoor area that you can go in to check out all the different lizards and species of snakes that they have available. For a lot of these snakes, I'm going to try and show the nameplates because I don't remember the names of all of them.
I saw the pattern up top there behind that leaf. He's hidden under the leaf. That's the. I know that. That's the black mamba. See, look.
He's all up.
That's Kobe.
Oh my god, a gecko.
Yeah, he's up on the rock.
Oh, he's so tiny.
Uh-huh.
He's little itty bitty.
That's a cool cobra. 10 feet long.
They always look mad. Look at him. He looks angry. A little cowboy hat on and makes him a little tame. This is literally a dinosaur.
See it behind the tree? On the floor, yeah.
Now it's time to head to one of the coolest exhibits in the zoo, I personally think, and that is the penguin exhibit. And they have a observation area where you can go and watch the penguins, or you can go underneath their exhibit and watch them from below. That was the last exhibit that we will be seeing at the zoo, and now we are making our way over to the botanical gardens. Now that we've seen the venue, it's time to go in some of the indoor houses. This is the Mediterranean Conservatory, so there's more tropical plants here than desert plants. Now we make our way over to the dry greenhouse, where all of the arid plants live, like cactus and things that can handle high droughts.
It's a jojoba tree.
I put that stuff on my hair.
It smells really sweet. That's what you do.
I'm not sure how many of these plants are native, but cactus does really well because New Mexico only typically gets about 8 inches of rain a year. This particular plant reminded me a lot of fiber optics. Now let's make our way over to the rest of the botanical gardens and check out this tiny train and figurines that they have on display. Oh, there's a mulberry tree right there. There's mulberry trees growing in these tunnels or above these tunnels. I bet those are delicious.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's a big bee, guys. Now that we're done admiring the bee, we are officially done with the botanical garden experience. On to the aquarium. There's this part of the aquarium that you can eat in called the Shark Cafe that has a really cool view. Now it's time to go to the aquarium. This is the front area, and this is where you can see the majority of the fish. They have scuba divers in there, and you can even see them hand feed the fish from time to time. Unfortunately, most of the aquarium was under construction, so we just got to see a couple of fish, some jellyfish, and there's about 2 archways that you can walk through and see some additional sea life. I really like that on their highways they have this cool mountain design. So we just got back from the aquarium and the zoo and the botanical garden, and honestly, the botanical garden was cool. I really liked it. There was a lot of really pretty flowers, and I really liked the penguin exhibit at the zoo, but a lot of it was under construction and we didn't get to see a ton of it because it was under construction. So only half the aquarium and half of the zoo was really available. You hear the wind? It's pretty windy. Right. We decided to stay in later that afternoon due to the wind because we were going to hike, but we did not want to be sandblasted. So we decided to check out the local mall instead. Times are so rough you can win Pringles. Jasmine green tea. Gatorade. What are these claw machines? Today was the day that we go on the Sandia Mountains and take the tram up to the peak. This is the view of the parking lot from the bottom of the tram. That's a huge field of solar panels. Okay. If you would like to see the tram up and down, check out the video immediately posted after this video. Once we got up there, we decided to do some hiking and to look for some of the best views.
This is the place where I saw.
I don't know that he's gonna ask me to. Right.
Colorado too, but it's like you just can't comprehend it.
Following suit with the rest of the trip, the rest of the trail was closed off and we were unable to go up any higher. The view from up here was absolutely spectacular. Now it was time for lunch at 10,300 feet in the air. I ended up getting a focaccia sandwich. It was delicious. On our way down to the base, there was someone who was getting ready to ride the top of our tram. They do this frequently for safety, and most pilots have to do this before they become pilots.
That is bananas.
Now it's time to head to the petroglyphs. This park features more than 25,000 highly fragile petroglyphs packed into dark boulders along volcanic cliffs where they were originally carved. This one looked like a band or some sort of drums, and there's a giant handprint on the top of this rock. Now it's time for the Nuclear Museum of Science and History. This place was really cool, had the periodic table as soon as you entered. This part of the museum has a lot of shapes and cones and different types of old warheads on display. And of course, it wouldn't be a desert visit without a tumbleweed.
Into low Earth atmosphere, flies over, and then. Oh no.
A lot of the exhibit was outside, and they had a lot of really cool planes on display.
Tons.
This atomic cannon has the ability to shoot 15 to 19 miles.
I feel like the thing would have just been obliterated.
This was a replica of the 100-foot tower from Oppenheimer, the one that they dropped the original test in. This is a MiG-21, or a Russian plane, which I had never seen before in person. We got up extra early, and I mean by 6 a.m. we have to be on the road to spot these hot air balloons because they take off so early in the morning. So we were practically chasing them down. So apparently this is where Post Malone and Jelly Roll are going to be playing today. And they're launching balloons. Well, this is the one spot we came to try and see the balloons. Since they weren't visible at the Balloon Fiesta Park, we just started driving west and followed the winds. The view was amazing. We got to see practically right under them and even saw one that was about to take off. That was amazing.
Turn left onto Unser Boulevard Northwest.
We found a park to pull over at and finish watching them descend. It's very peaceful and quite calming to see.
Vaya. Buenos días a ti también. Good morning world, it's a brand new day. I'm packing my bags and I'm getting away. I'm moving my legs and my city time goes. I gotta get away from the busy man's phones. Gotta Malibu where the living is wild and free. If you wanna get happy, then people come along with me.
Unfortunately, I didn't get any pictures in front of Walt's house because there's so many keep out and privacy signs around the house. Now we head to Tinkertown Museum. It took Ross Ward over 40 years to carve, collect, and construct what is now the Tinkertown Museum. His miniature wood carving figures were first part of a traveling exhibit, driven to county fairs and carnivals during the 1960s and 70s. There are so many tiny little figurines, it is hard to see all of them. This one is particularly my favorite. It's the circus exhibit, and you can see everything from trapeze artists to someone throwing a knife to an exotic animal display and a dancer in the middle with some tinsel in her hand. There's even a sailboat in here that sailed around the world in 10 years and has been docked here ever since, which is really cool. This machine is Esmeralda. She was originally created in 1940 and restored by the Ward family in the 80s. She'll happily tell you your fortune and make sure to have a quarter or two. Checking out the Owl Cafe and the Indian Pueblo Center. With the Albuquerque train trip coming to a close, I had such a fun time exploring new mountains, learning new words like watermelon and dry creek, arroyo, and sandia. It was time to head back to the train station to board the train back home, and on the way I saw this person from LA who was going to Chicago who had a cat. There was so many memorable things to do in Albuquerque, 1 week was just not long enough. From the top of the Sandia Mountains at 10,300 feet, or going to the Rio Grande, the vast amount of hiking and mountainous trails, and of course, the self-guided Breaking Bad tour. I can't wait to come back maybe 1 year for the Balloon Fiesta, to go to the White Sands, and Roswell. I'm actually editing this video while we're riding the train back, so you'll be editing a video while on the train about the train ride. Yes. Here is some of my favorite pictures from the trip. Thank you for watching, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.